Coming up next, I talk with Boca Raton veteran insurance guru Ted Bernstein, who runs his own insurance brokerage. And in an interview taped earlier, I asked Ted about the latest innovations in the insurance industry.
Let me give you an example of one important innovation, and that's the idea of installment life option, which now lets people, instead of having the proceeds of their policy paid in a lump sum to their beneficiaries, they, at the time they buy their insurance policy, can take control, and instead of having that policy in a lump sum, defer the proceeds in installments over a number of years they choose. Very important.
Well, that's got to be good for the consumer, right? Would you say?
It's great for the consumer.
Tax-wise, too, right? I would assume.
It is. It's very, very important for the consumer in two ways. The insured pays less for the life insurance, and the insured makes sure that their family is protected, because life insurance proceeds typically are gone in 3 to 5 years, which is what nobody intends when they buy a life insurance policy.
That's so true. Well, down in South Florida here, we're a hotbed of third-party insurance situations, a lot of some very high-profile scams on bionicle insurance and so forth. What is your comment on that?
David, that's an important topic, and you said it, scams. For the last 15 years, that market's been dominated by scams. But lately, it's been cleaned up. So now we have disclosure, we have regulation, and it's an important market, the secondary market for life insurance policies. So consumers today now have a good alternative for their life insurance policy when they no longer need it.
Okay, can you explain to me what the secondary market actually is?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Until the secondary market emerged, there was only one way to turn your life insurance policy in, and that was to the life insurance company.
Right.
If it didn't have any value, say a term life insurance policy, then it didn't have any value. Today, you have a secondary market which is filled with investors that will now look at your life insurance policy and your life expectancy and make a determination if that's a policy that they want to pay the premiums. They'll pay you for it like you'll sell them any asset, a home or a car. You now have a life insurance policy that has residual value, sell it to the investor, they pay the premiums until your death.
I got you. And then who gets the benefits on death?
You get a portion of the benefit up front when they buy it from you.
You're right.
And then at death, the investor gets it, minus taxes, because it's no longer an income tax.
Okay, so that has now become highly regulated, I would assume, to avoid the pitfalls of viatical insurance.
Absolutely. Most states have great regulation today, transparency, disclosure around all of this, and that's what was missing 15 years ago, and that's what enabled the scams to emerge.
Yeah. Well, listen, there's one question I want to ask you. Does everybody need life insurance?
No, everybody does not need life insurance. That's a great question. It's a fair question. No.
That's very good for guys in the life insurance business.
I should not be answering that way.
That's a pretty honest answer, yeah.
Yeah, no, everybody does not. Life insurance is intended for replacing value that is lost. So for young people, that can be income. For older people, that can be their assets. Yeah. But not everybody needs life insurance. There's just so many examples where life insurance is not necessary, but for most family people and most people that have assets worth protecting, life insurance is definitely needed.
Well, in your career, it's been 30 years, you're an expert in the insurance business. But in your career, you insured Muhammad Ali, right? Tell me, how did that happen?
Yes, that was an exciting time in my career. That's what really got me addicted to the life insurance industry. I was working in Chicago. I was working in my father's insurance agency as a young guy. Yeah. And I was friends with somebody that was friends with Muhammad Ali's housekeeper. And one thing led to another, and then we got an opportunity to speak with him, and we knew his law firm in Chicago and ended up selling him a $4 million life insurance policy. And it was one of the most exciting things for me, because I showed up where he took his medical exam, and there was a crowd around this guy. He was one of the most unbelievable,
charismatic.
That's it.
He still is. I mean, my God.
Absolutely. And it was true. You felt it, like certain politicians have that, and he certainly does.
$4 million back then. How much was the premium? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do. The premium was in the $30,000 range.
Oh, well, that's one couple of punches for him, right?
Yes, exactly.
He's still a huge drawing card when and God bless him, he's debilitated with Parkinson's, but God bless him, he's just terrific.
Yeah, he absolutely absolutely. Yeah, it was a real shot in the arm for my business as a young guy to do that.
One more question before we wrap it up. When you, with key man insurance with the companies,
yes,
that do you do a lot of stuff? Are you involved in stuff like that?
We are. It's a very important part of our practice. Our practice is split between individuals and businesses, and a lot of times that's an interplay. You just cannot make a clear division.
Yeah.
And key man life insurance, David, is critical. A business does not survive if it doesn't have good succession and good continuation planning, and life insurance is central to that.
All right. Okay, one more question before we go. Who are the companies that you represent? Do you represent all of them, or are you a broker, or just partly, or how does that work?
Another great question. We represent all life insurance companies. There are no life insurance companies that we cannot represent. We don't represent them all at one time because oftentimes for our market, certain companies will be having special products that are more appropriate today than they were 10 years ago. So at any given time, we're representing great companies with the highest ratings. That's an important feature for us. Yeah. But we can represent them all.
Okay. Well, God bless you, Ted Bernstein. Thanks for being here and shedding a light on the age-old insurance industry.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And stay with us. We'll return right after these words.